Because this Constitution is a wonderful document. And while we all sit here, we are like stars in the political firmament. But if you look at the sky today, it's polluted. You can't even see the stars. And I'm worried about the pollution that has entered into our political framework. Ask yourself the question, sir, have we been able to deliver social justice in this country? Have we been able to deliver economic justice in this country? Have we been able to deliver political justice in this country? Look at the disparities between the rich and poor in this country. Desire that we should do. And I just give all of you just one sentence from Baba Sahib Ambedkar, who we talk about all the time. On November 4th, this is what he said, and I quote, "It is perfectly possible to pervert the Constitution without changing its form, by merely changing the form of the administration and to make it inconsistent, opposed to the spirit of the Constitution." The Election Commission is not open with people in this country anymore. So what are you doing to institutions in our country? I'm not blaming you or them. I'm saying think about it. It is the survival of our future. Unless the institutions survive, you won't survive. We won't survive. This democracy won't survive.
Shri Kapil Sibal, 10 minutes.
I consider it a great privilege, sir, to intervene in this debate as we celebrate 75 magnificent years of our Constitution. And while I respect the views of all the members, distinguished members on both sides, I think the time has come for us to start asking ourselves the question, which is fundamental to the future of India. And the question is the following: has the Constitution failed us, or have we failed the Constitution? Because this Constitution is a wonderful document. And while we all sit here, we are like stars in the political firmament. But if you look at the sky today, it's polluted. You can't even see the stars. And I'm worried about the pollution that has entered into our political framework. And it is because of our failing. I don't want to blame A or B for that, but we collectively have failed because we've not been able to really generate the kind of confidence within the people of this country to salute those of our forefathers who dreamt for India and for whom we are here today to realize their dreams. So I'll just take a few minutes and I'll just indicate what the points are because I have only 10 minutes. So what did the Constitution framers say on the 26th of November 1950 when we, the people of India, gave to ourselves this Constitution? They said that in this country, we must secure for all our citizens justice, social, economic, and political. Ask yourself the question, sir, have we been able to deliver social justice in this country? Have we been able to deliver economic justice in this country? Have we been able to deliver political justice in this country? Look at the disparities between the rich and poor in this country. 1% of the people of this country actually have more than 20% of the national income, of the entire national income. 1% of the people of this country own 50 or 40 to 50% of the wealth of this country. That's where we are. Have we failed the Constitution? We have. We've not been able to. You may say whatever you want to say about your governments, and they will say whatever they want to say when they were in power. The question is not that. Collectively, have we discharged the responsibilities that the forefathers, in fact, desired that we should do? And I just give all of you just one sentence from Baba Sahib Ambedkar, who we talk about all the time. On November 4th, this is what he said, and I quote, "It is perfectly possible to pervert the Constitution without changing its form, by merely changing the form of the administration and to make it inconsistent, opposed to the spirit of the Constitution." You can talk all about this Constitution. The question is, how have you worked it? What have you delivered on the ground? You talk about political justice. What kind of political justice is there in this country when elected governments are thrown out through processes of money, power, and defection? What's the political justice that your elected governments, any example in the history of the world where elected governments have been thrown out in this fashion? And judgments after judgments of courts saying it shouldn't have been done. Where 356, whether it was that side or that side, used 356 for the purposes of changing governments. Has that ever happened anywhere in the world? Has anybody spoken when poor Dalits are lynched in daylight, when their videos are shown in the social media? Do the powers that be say anything? They are silent. When civil war is going on in one part of the country, has anybody spoken for them, for the women there? And then we talk about social, economic, and political justice. We talk about liberty, liberty of faith, liberty of worship, liberty of thought, liberty of belief. Where is that liberty? I can say, in fact, there is no liberty in Parliament. I tell you why. Because you are bound by your whip. What is this whip? This whip controls our conscience. If I belong to a political party, can I ever speak against it? I cannot. One, I will be ostracized. Two, I will not become a minister. So I keep on praising, whether this side or that side, because that's the way our constitutional democracy functions. Is there anywhere in the world when there is a whip in Parliament? Except for two exceptions. When the government is going to fall, when there's a no confidence motion, and when the budget is going to be passed. It's only on those two exceptions that there is a whip in political democracies. But have you heard of any democracy which says that you are bound by the whip of the party, which means you have no conscience? I have the right to speak in Parliament, no? I have to say, I would have the right to say what I think about a particular bill, but we're not entitled to speak. Is this how we are working our constitution? What liberty are we talking about when young students are in jail for 4.5 years? And there is no choice of bail. When young girls are incarcerated for 3 years, 4 years, for what? For protesting. Is that the liberty that our forefathers gave us? What are we talking about? Liberty of thought, of worship. If there is an interfaith marriage, you bring laws to say that no, there will be an inquiry. I mean, what kind of laws are we bringing in? What kind of laws like the UAPA? What kind of law? You can have any law in this country, it can be misused. And what about your investigating agencies? Remember, no democracy can survive without institutions. No democracy can survive without institutions. And what institutions do we have? We have only a few institutions. You have the institution of Parliament, and I told you how it functions. Right? You have the institution of a governor, the link between the state and the center. You know what the governors do in this country. They have become more political adversaries to the government in power. That's what the governors are doing in this country. You have the institution of the Election Commission. We know what the Election Commission does in this country. I wish there was a white paper on the functioning of the Election Commission. I hope that when somebody else comes to power, we have a white paper on how they have functioned. You adjourn the poll dates which are announced for polling, you adjourn it for a week, and then you give freebies. You announce freebies. I mean, you talk about EVM, sir. I'm not saying anything for or against EVM. The fact of the matter is, forget the EVM. What does the Election Commission do when they know that after 6 o'clock, the voting has increased by 8%, by 9%? The Election Commission has never explained it to the people of this country. Previously, election commissioners used to give a press briefing at 5 o'clock saying how many votes have been polled, what is the percentage of votes polled, why votes are yet to be counted, because they are coming from remote areas, there is a flood somewhere, post ballots have not been counted. Those reasons were given. The Election Commission is not open with people in this country anymore. So what are you doing to institutions in our country? I'm not blaming you or them. I'm saying think about it. It is the survival of our future. Unless the institutions survive, you won't survive. We won't survive. This democracy won't survive. And yet we celebrate it after 75 years because we have survived. No matter what has happened, we have survived. But you have to think of what's going to happen in the future. If this continues, we're going to be in real trouble. Then the Constitution talks about equality of status and opportunity. Sir, a gentleman here talked about digital revolution that has come. Just ask a poor child. I've been a minister for HRD. Just ask a poor child in a village in Bengal, village in Uttar Pradesh, where is the digital equality there? They don't have connections. What are we talking about? The fiber optic, sir, please allow me. The fiber optic network has not been laid yet. 250,000 gram panchayats had to be connected with the fiber optic network. It's not been connected yet. Where do you get Wi-Fi? People can't get lessons on mobile phones. So, one second, hold on. So, therefore, there is huge digital inequality in this country. And who is in fact prospering? The banks. The economic transactions that are taking place through banks. UPI. True, it's all absolutely right. But the fact of the matter is, on the ground, 70-80% of the people don't have the connectivity. I launched a product called Akash. The reason was that if we could get connectivity to people in the classroom, then a maths teacher can teach 100,000 people at the same time. Now, think of the future. You know, India is not about one man. India is about us. India is about the people of this country. And when somebody starts addressing himself as a third person, then I know democracy is in real danger. The last thing I want to say, and I think my time is almost over, is that the Constitution talks also about fraternity. So what does fraternity mean? Fraternity ultimately in Hindi language is भाईचारा, right? कि हमें आपसी कोई मतभेद नहीं होना चाहिए, ठीक है? किसी भी धर्म के हो, किसी भी जमात के हो, किसी भी कास्ट के हो, क्रीड के हो, हमें एक दूसरे से अगर एक फैमिली भाईचारा के बिना नहीं चल सकती तो देश कैसे चलेगा भैया? आप जो मर्जी करवा लो, हरियाणा में करवा लो, कहीं और करवा लो, उससे कुछ नहीं होने वाला। जब तक आपके देश में वो पीस नहीं होगी, तब तक विवाद रहेंगे, और विवाद अगर रहेंगे तो देश आगे कभी बढ़ ही नहीं सकता। The last thing I want to say, sir.
धन्यवाद साहब, समाप्त करें।
2 minutes. Just that there are now real challenges facing us in the global community, and the challenges are the following. Previously, the imperial powers could capture us and exploit us. Today, who is capturing us and exploiting us? The global players of the world. They are capturing us because the kind of information they have about each of us, they will exploit that information to the full. They will use algorithms to actually control us.
धन्यवाद, आप समाप्त करें।
That's right.
Thank you.
So 1 second, sir. Will control us. And please think about artificial intelligence. This is the big danger to the future. It's a great opportunity, but it's also a danger to the future. Now, your government, forget about what you say here कि 370 में क्या हो गया, हमने ये कर दिया, हमने मुसलमानों के लिए कर दिया, दलित, बहुत कुछ किया आपने, बट फ्यूचर जनरेशन के लिए कुछ ध्यान तो दीजिए कि आगे क्या होने वाला है, क्या हमारे
समाप्त हुआ, भाषण समाप्त हुआ आपका, कृपया बैठ जाइए।
उसके बाद कीजिए
प्लीज,
और
प्लीज समाप्त करें,
और
समाप्त करें, समाप्त।
अपनी जो अपनी उपलब्धियां है ना, उससे कोई कुछ नहीं होने वाला, वो दैट इज द मैटर ऑफ द पास्ट। Please think of the future. Thank you very much, sir.
Shri Vaiko.
Stay ahead with our cutting-edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.